Today, we're going to look at Schoolboy versus Georgi TAUTIEV. If you guys do not know Georgi, he's an extremely high-level top roller. He's had super great wins at some of the AMC tournaments. He defeated Hadzimir Zaloyev, and he even managed to defeat Dmitry Trubin while weighing significantly less than he did. So right at the start here, we see Schoolboy using this dragging hook, and I have noticed that lately he's been liking to use this dragging hook. This is similar to what we saw him open with against Ryan Bowen at King of the Table, and he's able to get his cup in, and he is pretty open with his arm angle, but he still has enough kind of awkward side pressure from this angle to get the pin, and to go ahead and rotate Georgi palm up from here. In the second start, we see pretty much the exact same thing. Once again, Schoolboy is containing, he's opening up with that drag, and you can see that Georgi's hand is kind of sliding right into that pocket being created by Schoolboy. Schoolboy is able to contain the top roll, and then he just rolls him, he rotates him down to the pin pad one more time. But in the third go, something super interesting happens, and this is what I like to call following your pronator. So instead of Georgi just allowing himself to get turned palm up, getting ripped open like what has been happening, we see pretty much the same opening, but as Schoolboy begins to drag downward, as he begins to try to rotate to finish this match, notice how Georgi, instead of allowing his pronator to fail, he actually keeps his pronator locked, but he turns his entire body orientation supinates, so he actually follows this angle. So if Georgi had just stayed right here with his shoulder, his pronator would just get ripped through like it was before, and Schoolboy's gonna get this pin, but instead of doing that, he rotates his entire body, he supinates his entire body, and then he follows this pressure that Schoolboy puts. So now even right down next to the pin pad, he's still putting a huge amount of pressure into Schoolboy's cup, into those bottom two fingers. And he manages to get a slide stop by doing this, and then as they reset, as they come back up, notice how he follows this angle every single time. He's keeping his pronator muscle locked, but in terms of his entire body orientation, he is always following this angle that's being put here by Schoolboy, so he's never getting his muscle ripped through, but he's also able to keep constant pressure into the fingertips of Schoolboy this whole time, and the stops just progressively get a little bit better, a little bit higher, until eventually we see this stop right here where Schoolboy really starts to get a little bit opened up, and you can see his hand is being heavily taxed, and then Georgi's able to turn everything around, he takes control, and eventually he is able to get the pin here. So I think that this concept of kind of following your pronator and instead of getting ripped open, simply changing your entire body orientation is extremely effective when going up against hook pullers. We see it used here by Georgi, and we've seen it used plenty of other times by people like Mindaugas Terasaitis. People are known for being good at blocking the hook. I thought this sparring footage did a great job of showing this technique, and hopefully this analysis is useful.